Hey everyone, and welcome to what I believe is week 20 of the OLED burn-in test for the LG C9 OLED. This is the 65-inch model, and as I've been doing for not every week, but quite a few of the recent weeks, so probably from around week 8 onwards, I've been doing OLED burn-in tests just as reference for myself as well as everybody else on YouTube. For anybody potentially looking to buy an OLED, or anybody who's curious about potential risks of burn-in when it comes to gaming, movies, sports, all that kind of stuff. So as with all the other videos that I've done on this particular series, what I'll do is I'll let this same test run through. So this is the same test that I've used for every single burn-in test video that I've actually produced. And whilst it's running, I'll just give you a quick rundown in terms of usage for the past week and just basically things like that. So this past week, it has had a lot of gaming on it. So for anybody who hasn't actually watched any of my previous videos, basically the TV has two devices connected to it. So it has the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Apple TV 4K. Now, my son uses it primarily for gaming, so he mostly just uses Fortnite. He likes playing online multiplayer with his friends, so most of his gaming is actually Fortnite. So because of that, obviously you will have certain head-up displays on the screen. I personally use it through both the Apple TV as well as some of the built-in apps for the basically movies, TV shows, generally through the Apple TV, and directly on the TV I also use the Duplex IPTV app for sports. So recently, with the return of the Premier League football, I have been watching quite a lot of Premier League games as a result of that. And this past week we've probably had probably only one or two games I've actually watched. The main reason for that was because the shift I was actually working this past week. However, I was only working up to Wednesday, so with today being Friday, there are no games today, so obviously not had to worry about that. But over the last weekend and also Wednesday, Thursday, there were some games, so I did watch some on those days. I've been using it at night, generally just for TV series. So even though it has had probably between, say, 5 and 7 hours usage, not all in one go. That's basically with a few breaks in between. Oh, sorry, let's put the remote down. That's with a few breaks in between, but it would have had between, say, 5 and 7 hours gaming use on it, and then after that, it would have had some TV shows, maybe movies, something like that, just to mix up the content as well. So because of that, obviously the TV, it is primarily used for gaming. That's probably the most part, just because of lockdown and because of not that much new content actually having been available. But it does get used quite a lot for movies and TV shows as well. So I do try and vary the content just to mix it up a bit and help the panel. By now, obviously, it's run through all of the colours, and hopefully, as you should be able to see, sometimes the camera isn't quite right when it comes to showing this particular test through on your side, on the screen on your side. But everything that I'm looking at now, just looking at all the colors, everything looks bang on. No, can't see any type of head-up displays, sort of areas, the normal areas that you'd get. So in the top left, top right, bottom right, all those kind of areas. Sports, most of the football channels that I watch, it'll have the logo there. And the ones I'm using nowadays, they'll always have a embossed kind of Premier League logo. But if you have a look on my channel, you'll see that I've posted quite a few videos in terms of settings and things like that can actually help you mitigate any potential burn-in. So panel's looking all good. As I say, this is, I believe, 20 weeks in now. So it's had a fair bit of usage now. And even though this particular set, the software that's on the C9, doesn't allow you to actually check the hours used without going into the service menu, I'm pretty sure it would have had quite a lot of hours, because generally it's very rare that it doesn't get any usage. throughout the day. It's either being used for gaming or movies, TV shows, things like that. So generally most days it's going to have some usage. So it's got a fair few hours on it, and as you can see, the panel is really clean. There's very little, if any, dirty screen effect, any banding, anything like that. When I first got it, there was a little bit of banding that showed up on the grey slides, but now, as you can see from this, hopefully, all of the slides look very clean. There's virtually no vertical banding that I can actually see to the eye. A lot of the times the camera might pick stuff up that basically it's just overemphasizing, but to the eye there's literally nothing, no imperfections that you can actually notice. So really happy with how the panel is actually performing so far. So now it should be coming up towards the end of the test.
Hello, Internet.